What's up, everybody? It's the Inhuman one here, and today we're going to solve the biggest mystery from the Watchmen series featured on HBO. So will we be answering why Dr. Manhattan seemingly allowed himself to be captured? Will we be explaining the science of assuming Dr. Manhattan's powers? Will we conclusively determine that Dr. Manhattan made those waffles? No, not even close. In this video, we're going to reveal what lies behind the sticky, slippery mask of LUBE Man. So without further ado, let's get started. We first encounter the skinny silver spandex man in episode 4, standing across the street from Sister Night after she attempts to discard evidence of William Reeves' involvement in Judd Crawford's hanging. After being witnessed, LUBE Man darts off towards the most improbable of exits, a storm drain, but not before dousing himself with a generous amount of lubricant and sliding into the extremely narrow crevice unscathed. So who is this slippery little fellow, and what is his purpose? Well, you see, as of episode 3, we have already been introduced to LUBE Man in the flesh. In fact, he is none other than the agent Dale Petey. He does, after all, fit Detective Abar's physical description of a tall, skinny guy covered head to toe in spandex.
Vigilantes wear a belt like this. Tall, skinny, head to toe spandex.
Still not convinced? Well, allow me to provide you some more telling evidence. Dale Petey has a PhD in history and a near obsession with all things mass vigilante. His fascination and wealth of knowledge of the classic heroes of the past led him to being published in the article Nothing Ever Ends. Keep a mental note of this for later. As an FBI agent, he has continued to write a number of memos documenting occurrences of mass vigilantes and their enemies in an ARG site dubbed the Peteypedia. I'll be sure to provide the link in the description below. Interestingly enough, Petey's entries provide just the amount of information we need to pin down the fact that he is indeed not just some fan, but a mass vigilante himself. In File 8, the memo Fog Dancing very blatantly alludes to Agent Dale Petey having a mass alter ego, referencing that, quote, "You could say my humiliation in the pages of Nothing Ever Ends was my origin story," end quote. The clipping attached to the memo is his entry to the aforementioned article and introduces us to Petey's inspiration for LUBE Man. The Fog Dancers, a special Black Ops unit, were said to grease the wheels of the American machine, no pun intended, and essentially clean up any and all manner of war crimes during the Vietnam War alongside heroes. The Fog Dancer's gear of choice was none other than a gas mask, a skin-tight silver suit, and that slick, shiny sheen that you could only get after applying SPF 666 all over your body. Sound familiar? It should. This very description precisely depicts LUBE Man as he appears to Sister Night, save the gas mask, of course. Agent Petey is the only individual that has expressly stated his knowledge of history and heroes. His reference to the Fog Dancers in his memo and his submission to the Nothing Ever Ends annual essay contest come together to form his very own origin story as LUBE Man, a man that makes his earnings taking down mass vigilantes while donning a mask of his own to either suppress the truth, like his Fog Dancer counterparts, or simply to put forth his best effort to not just be a fan, as he states to Lori on their flight to Tulsa. Speaking of Lori, isn't it odd that after her failed attempt at wielding the mighty blue Excalibur, that she goes next door to, how should I say this, get lubed up? I just thought that was excellent timing, writing, Easter eggs, whatever you want to call it. So moving on, if anybody's skills in observation, deductive reasoning, analytical thinking, or just plain not trusting anyone should be relied upon as fact, the first and only name that comes to mind should be none other than Detective Wade Wilson, aka Looking Glass. His perceptive nature has allowed him to reveal the deepest and darkest truths hidden in Tulsa's underbelly. Even those who slink around the sewers are unable to hide from his watchful eyes. In episode 6, Detective Petey visits Looking Glass bunker and finds a horrific scene. A number of 7th Cavalry thugs have all been shot and killed and lie in pools of their own blood. Most horrifying of all, though, is Petey's discovery of a copy of Fog Dancing, accompanied by his published article in Nothing Ever Ends. It seems that Looking Glass was doing some research of his own and came to the conclusion that Detective Dale Petey and LUBE Man are one and the same. Will LUBE Man make an appearance in the season finale? Only time will tell. And that is going to bring this video to a close. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And until next time, it's the Inhuman One signing out. Welcome to my universe.